hear me. Hi, y'all. Thanks for stopping by the My Reader Minutes. I'm only going to be here for a short minute. Um, Breaking news. Wendy Osefo. If anybody is familiar with the Real Housewives of Potomac, Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie have been arrested. Yes, they were arrested last night, evidently. Booked in Westminster, Maryland. So here's the deal. The police say the couple reported a burglary last April. The couple claimed they found their bedroom ransacked after returning from a trip to Jamaica. We told you about that incident at that time, according to TMZ. According to the prosecution's bail recommendations, documents obtained by TMZ, the couple reportedly told police several designer bags and jewelry had been stolen. But get this, Wendy was later caught in a social media post wearing a diamond ring she claimed was stolen. Additionally, an investigation determined numerous items that the Osefos claim were stolen had been purchased, then returned to the store, where a full refund was provided prior to the alleged burglary. The documents indicate that the couple had claimed $450,000 personal property loss to an insurance company. Now I know, now I know that they didn't do this. I know that they did not do this. I happened to look up. I tried to get more information and I tried to look up the police report, and of course, well, they go to their hearing today at 9:30. Well, they've already gone. Okay. Um so they went to see the hearing counsel at 8:45. No. Hold on. Oh, okay. So that's not now. So they went to their hearing today at 9:30. They had to post bail, both of them. Their bail was set to $50,000. They have a hearing council meeting scheduled on 11/7. That's next month at 8:45. But it looks like, I guess, when their burglary was, when they claimed they had a burglary, or maybe they did have a burglary, but they made pretend that more items were gone when they weren't. Um, it says that they have 16 counts, at least Wendy does. And maybe the other counts were what Eddie said was stolen from him. They said the offense date was 4/8, two were 4/8. Another one was 4/24, another one was 5/9, 5/9. This is all back in 2024. And I guess this is all the times that they reported missing miscellaneous items or whatever. Um, but evidently, once they found out that all the items had been returned to the store and they got full price for them, then the arrest warrant was served yesterday. That is crazy. That is so crazy. Because I'm thinking to myself, it can't be because of Happy Eddie, because Happy Eddie is legal. And I said, maybe and I'm thinking, before all this came out, I'm thinking, well, maybe the police thought they were peddling, DRUGSs, and then like don't realize that they have a store. And I said, but that's not it because it doesn't say anything about any type of illegal substance or here. So can't be that because it said fraud, um, and misleading fraud. So that makes no sense why they would. Well, it makes sense why they would do it if they were in a tight bond, but don't. So you are actually keeping up appearances, buying these bags and all that foo la la that she puts on in her confessionals. I'm sure she's buying it and returning it to the store because she has all these fabulous clothes. All these fabulous clothes. Now, mind you, they are now coming into their own, and Happy Eddie must be doing well. She's quit her job as a professor at John Hopkins. Um, Last season, they showed that, and She used to do commentary on CNN. I guess she's not on that doing that anymore. She's just basically doing Happy Eddie and wants to be on TV. I know her mother has got to be so embarrassed because they are a very proud people. And your children either have to be engineers or doctors, lawyers, things of that nature. And now your daughter, even though she has all the degrees, to validate her brilliance, this is what she does along with her husband. I know his family is embarrassed, and so is hers. I'm embarrassed for them. I'm embarrassed because this is just not acceptable. This is not acceptable at all. And I am, you know, she was the main one coming down on her buddy Karen. Karen clearly has a sickness. What is this, though? This is nothing but greed. This is nothing but greed. So if Karen has a sickness and she has a problem, there's some type of justification for why she felt like she, ended up where she ended up because she mind is clouded, making bad decisions. This was a bad decision, but on another level because obviously you knew what you were doing. You weren't out of your mind. You knew that these things weren't missing. You knew that these things would return to the store and you got full price. So you was trying to double dip. So you was trying to get the money back that you paid for them, plus wanted to get something from the insurance company. Now the insurance company, oh my God, that's so who now when you get caught on fraud, are you able to get anybody to insure your house again? Let me look at ChatGPT and ask it. So I looked it up and it says the short answer is yes. Being caught in an insurance fraud scheme can make it much harder, though not always impossible, to get another homeowner's policy afterwards. Whether the Wendy Osefo case will have the effect depends on several details. And since her case is still developing, there's uncertainty. I'll break it down. So they say what we do know about her case. Now, this is ChatGPT already. Oh my God. Wendy and her husband have been booked, charged with fraud in Maryland. One of the counts is false, misleading information fraud in excess of $300. There's also a misdemeanor count for making a false statement to an officer. These are serious charges that could lead to convictions depending on how things unfold. Now, what insurers look for and what happens after insurance fraud? Here are what carriers typically care about and how getting caught in fraud plays into future insurance eligibility. Number one, claim history. Insurers pull prior claims, including suspected fraud from databases like CLUE, state insurance fraud bureaus, etc. Having an insurance fraud label shows up as a red flag. Even having many claims without fraud can raise rates or lead to non-renewals. Criminal convictions versus accusation. If someone is convicted of fraud, especially a felony, that's much more damaging than just being charged or accused. Some insurers refuse to insure people with recent felony convictions for fraud. Others impose high premiums or restricted policy terms. So then there's a non-renewal and cancellation. If your insurer finds you committed fraud, they can cancel the policy or not renew it. The record sticks and other insurers will see it. Higher premiums. If you can get another policy, you'll likely pay more because insurers view you as a higher risk. So limited options. You might get pushed to specialty insurers or high risk pools. Coverage options might be smaller or even expensive with stricter underwriting, more scrutiny, more documentation required. Time matters. The older the fraud, the better chance to show rehabilitation or the risk is lower. Also, the state law and insurance regulations in her state, Maryland, will matter. How long fraud stays on the record? Well, severity of crime. Severity and amount of fraud, whether it was a small overclaim or a large systematic fraud, makes a difference. The more serious the crime, the worse it looks. So they're applying this to the Osefo situation. It says, given what's reported, if she is convicted, especially for false information fraud, that will likely be part of her insurance risk profile going forward. Because the fraud allegations involve misrepresentation, false, misleading information, false statements to law enforcement, insurers may view it more seriously than, say, an honest mistake. She might face either difficulty getting a standard homeowner's policy, higher premiums, or have to go through more stringent overriding. That being said, if the case is resolved without conviction or with lesser charges, or if she can show corrective steps, it might mitigate some of the damage. Conclusion. So, yes, being caught in insurance fraud scheme can cause long-term issues with getting homeowners insurance. Possible policy denials, higher rates, fewer options for coverage. So, unfortunately, like I said, this case is still developing. I don't know what to make of it. If she lied and said that she returned, if it's come to fruition and it shows that she returned these items and got full price for them and still marked them as being stolen, then yes, then this conviction or these charges more than likely will stick. However, if there's no proof that she returned them to the store and got full price, yet even though they saw her in a social media post, you have to kind of try to figure out how old the social media post was. And even if it was posted after the alleged or after the, yeah, I'm going to say the alleged, after the alleged robbery, it could have been a picture taken previously prior to the robbery that she posted after the fact, which showed that she had the ring on or the bag or whatever she was shown in the picture with. But again, if receipts were obtained where she returned all these items that she claimed were no longer in her possession because they were stolen and she got full price, then yes, these will stick. And I am totally, totally turned off of Wendy Osefo because she always takes the high moral ground and she's this and she's that. And now we see that she's a fraud, not only in this instance, but all the way around. So that's my point. That's my 2 cents. If you've stayed throughout this whole entire video, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get down in the comments and talk about it. Please like, share, subscribe. Peace.